Starseeds, if you've been experiencing certain pushback, bullying, slander, aggression, jealousy, envy, just sarcasm, a bunch of negativity that's like it's just rampant. It's like it was exposed and then it had no place to go, and so now it's just all over the place. It's everywhere. You've practiced this in small doses, but now it's high volume, this all the time. Shittiness is not enough to stop you, but it is enough to make you feel like singled out, backed against the wall, just stuck. You're not stuck. There's other ones like you. There's other ones that are fighting that silent fight. There's other ones who just can't seem to get up anymore too. I call them angels in the outfield, but it's ones like me and like you who put in so much of the emotional work and probably a lot of the physical labor too. Just a lot of the caring, a lot of the doing, a lot of the being in normal plus, right? You're more likely to find your community online than actually around you, because they're not there. You're the one holding up your community and there's no one holding you up. So today I talked with a lady where basically it was like cry with a stranger. When's the last time you cried with a stranger? When's the last time you connected with someone without the fear of judgment? Like, when's the last time you let yourself be vulnerable with someone that you don't know? It's in short supply, but trust. If you are in Team Godhead, you have got to have trust. This is a trust fall. Know that what you were doing was the right thing. Know that what you have done is the right thing. That you're actually the leader of the new way of doing stuff, where people are down bad. They're fucked up, okay? They're hurt. They're emotional. They're psychotic. They're strung out. They're sick. They're all the above. And we've all already been through a lot. Like, we as a country are going through a lot. We as the individual are going through a lot. We're going through a lot. But I'm coming up on the 1 year anniversary of my brother passing away. Like, tomorrow's his birthday, and then in 2 weeks is his passing day. And I ran into a woman today whose mother's passing day was like same day or next day. She was talking about it also being the 1 year anniversary. And we talked for like 45 minutes. And we talked about a lot of different stuff. And one of the things she was talking about was just being very tired, inordinately tired. And I was like, you're not lazy. There's not something wrong with you. You have adrenal fatigue. And a lot of people are going through this. So I feel like maybe it's worth a mention. At first, when you're sad, at first you have apathy. You don't really feel anything. That's because it's not going to get better and you have to get through it. You have to learn to get through it, to where crying doesn't disqualify you, throwing up doesn't disqualify you. Like, you can't even quit. You still just have to get through the shit you're going through. It doesn't change until it changes. Like, when you're so fucking sad, you cry until you don't even have tears anymore. It's just dry. Like, the sound doesn't even... It's just a breath that wants to come out of your throat. It's not even actual tears anymore. And then you get to a place of anger, because you've cried all that you can cry. And then at least the anger feels like you're doing something about it. At least the anger is like, can be an ally. You feel motivated. You try to change things. You try to fix things. You try to, critique and polish it off. And sometimes things do change because you had to get angry to make that change, but then other times it doesn't work at all and you go right back to sad, because honestly, anger is sadness. It's still helplessness. It's still not being able to change the circumstances. It's still not being able to overcome. And like, there has to be another side to those two coins. But after you've been sad, it's like a muscle. You squeeze and squeeze and squeeze and squeeze. You can't cry anymore. Then you're angry, and it's a muscle that you squeeze and squeeze and squeeze and squeeze, and you're not even mad anymore. You just don't care. There's kind of freedom in that, because there's kind of peace in that. Like, you're not sad or mad. You just don't care. But you do care. You just don't let yourself get to that point anymore. It's not worth the, like, heart palpitations, the anxiety, the stress, and the pain of just carrying those two feelings around. And so after you've had both of those two feelings, you're tired, you're very exhausted. Like, you've carried all you can carry, you've felt all you can feel, and you have to rest, and you have to go to sleep, and you have to recharge. So right now, for the chosen ones, for the starseeds, for my collective who I'm always talking to, if you feel you're inordinately tired right now, like something's wrong with you, There's nothing wrong with you. The weight is getting heavier. People are not being able to carry, and more is being exposed, and more people are freaked out, and the fear will eventually turn into, it's just unknown. They don't know what's next. They don't know what to do now. But for those who have gone through that adrenal fatigue, let yourself rest, because once you let yourself rest, if you've been in survival mode for a long time, your fight or flight is always on. So even if something is not going to happen, you're always braced for the hit, like waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like this woman, her mom was sick for a long time before she actually passed away. And in a caregiver's position like that, you're doing everything you can to like take care of their body, their home, their all the extra things that they need help with that they can't do for themselves, especially medical. And then the whole time that's going on, you're hanging on because you're not ready for them to go. Absolutely nobody is ready for that. And then the person going through it's in pain, like her mom had dementia, Alzheimer's. A lot of times, as bad as it is, the person with Alzheimer's and dementia is blissfully unaware of it. Like, yes, they have some aggression. Yes, they have some inappropriate behavior. And yes, they're confused. But in that confusion, they're not aware that they used to know something that they now don't know. They just simply don't know it, right? And we're the one that hangs on, and we're the one that puts meaning into it, and we're the one that has to make the peace with it after the fact. Because when they're on their way out, they're on their way out. But they do physically suffer. Like she said, her mom had a few strokes. Well, when you're in that position, you're like, what's going to happen next? What's the next brick that's going to be thrown? What's the next phone call that I'm going to get? And how am I going to how life-changing is that phone call going to be? And you keep waiting and waiting and waiting for it. And then finally it does happen. The worst case scenario finally does happen. And they pass away. And you have life's different now. Part of you is relieved that they're relieved, and then part of you feels guilty that you feel relieved. That's called survivor's guilt. That's definitely a caretaker's guilt thing. That's like mom guilt. Like you just get that from empty nest, or from taking a nap just because you. What if your kids need you? What if they call? What if? There's always a lot of guilt. There's always a lot of guilt in taking a break. There's always a lot of guilt in resting. There's always a lot of guilt in, like, you feel selfish if you don't do these things. In order to receive what you need, all that you've given, you're about to receive back. But you're not used to receiving. You are not used to receiving, so you have to rest first, because your body heals while you sleep, right? That's when it does its best work. So while you're sleeping, your body is giving back to you. You're giving you what you need, and you're recharging. And then after you recharge and you've had some rest, that same amount of care that you put into others that you were doing that was making you feel guilty for not doing, now that you don't have them, now that you don't have the extra weight on you, now that you've reached that threshold, it's no longer an obstacle. You need to take some of that gumption and put it into you. Help you rest. Help you eat and nourish yourself again. Help you do what it takes for mental health. Like if you are dealing with the survivor's guilt of some sort, learn the vocabulary for it and learn to get the tools to work with that, because your own brain can attack you, your own thoughts can attack you, your emotions can attack you. Get a rein on that. Take care of you like you are taking care of them. It's not selfish to say no. It's not selfish to feel relieved. It's not selfish to want to connect with people. That's exactly what human beings need, is connection with each other. So when you're the caretaker and you're feeling very, very overwhelmed, you need to find a group of other caretakers who, it's like a support group. They know what you're going through, and instead of it being like regular other people who are like, well, it's not your problem, don't deal with it, they're not wired like you, so they're going to give you bad advice. You need a support group, i.e. probably online, because that's the easiest way to get really actually matched correctly. You go to a support group that's like you, other people who are wired like you, and they give solutions that would be like more in your wheelhouse, not something so out of character that they're like, well, just put your parent in a nursing home and leave them. If that's not you, then getting advice like that sounds very threatening and cruel and obtuse, because it is. But then there's other people who have had to put their parents in a nursing home, and they should have a support group for people who feel guilty about not being able to actually care for their relative and having to use that, because there's nothing wrong with putting a degree of separation between you and the giving of the care, because a caregiver can help treat the disorder or the disease, the illness, and then you can still have the relationship with the family member. When the family member is also the caregiver, it's so taxing, it's so much harder, and it creates tension that's not talked about, and it creates dynamics that aren't talked about, and it creates pain between siblings and between other family members that is not talked about. But if you go to groups, support groups, or talk with a stranger, because like I said, my talk started with a stranger today, just connecting with people, trust that everyone is going through something, and that you're not as isolated as you think. You're not as alone as you feel. Just because there's not another one right in your sphere doesn't mean that they're out of reach completely. We are more connected than we've ever been. There's outreach, there's tools, there's resources. We need to use those, and we need to normalize talking about our shit with each other, and not just feel like it has to be on a platform, or has to be only in therapy, or has to be, you know, at critical mass, or at your church or something. It should be, if you and your neighbor are sitting at your kid's school and y'all are both waiting on your kid, you can strike up a normal conversation, and who knows what'll come out. But obviously you guys have something in common. You both have a kid at the same school, you both live in the same neighborhood. You're likely to be exposed to similar obstacles and daily living and stuff like that. It's more similar than not. There's not huge contrast within the neighborhoods and within the schools themselves and within the jobs that we work at. Find common ground and build from there. And if you can't find any common ground with anyone around you, you're that much the anomaly, then reach out. Reach out like this. That's what this is for. You can be your own support system, and you can be someone else's support system, and you can give each other pep talks, and just understanding probably that you aren't finding in your up close and personal environment. It's still there. Be that light that someone else needs. Look for the light that you need, because while you're busy helping other people, you're not helping yourself. So caretakers, it's time to unbusy. It's time to practice relaxing. It's time to practice receiving. It's time to practice allowing someone else to help you. It's time to practice connection. Even if you can only allow a little bit at a time, the only way your blessings can come in is if you are comfortable receiving them. If you're comfortable letting someone help you, if you're comfortable letting someone see your vulnerability, if you're comfortable opening up, not just holding it all in. So if you don't know how to open up, start by trying to have a conversation with a like-minded person or a similar environment setting. I love you guys. Until next time, stay true. I love you. You're good.